Hello folks out there in TV land, in media land. We got your boy here.
Big Banks.
And I am Stroobs. We're back after a short little hiatus. We're going to try to do this thing dual coastal now, so stay tuned for the new technology we're going to try to implement. We're going to try to do a little bit of a Skype show, but we'll still be bringing you the latest and the greatest. Big Banks, how you feeling after a few months off?
Oh, it's sad.
Sad.
Yeah, sad. But hey, we're back together.
Hard to do the shows with the logistics, but we're going to give you some material this weekend. I am back in DC for a little bit, and let's start off fresh. So let's hit it.
Watch out. You might get what you're after. Cool babies. Strange but not a stranger. I'm an ordinary guy. Burning down the house. Hold tight.
A couple months ago, the big issue, the local issue, I guess you could say, in the DC, Maryland, the DMV area was DJT, POTUS, Mr. Kofefi himself, his comments about Baltimore. Here's what he had to say in tweet form, and here's what he had to say to defend his comments about this charmed city.
Do you regret targeting Baltimore? No, Baltimore has been very badly mishandled for many years. As you know, Congressman Cummings has been there for a long time. He's had a very iron hand on it. It's a corrupt city. There's no question about it. All you have to do is look at the facts. The government has pumped in over the years billions and billions of dollars to no avail, to absolutely no avail. Baltimore is an example of what corrupt government leads to. Billions of dollars have been given, and I feel so sorry for the people of Baltimore. And if they ask me, we will get involved. But we're already involved from the standpoint that over many years, billions and billions of dollars have been given to Baltimore. It's been misspent, it's been missing, it's been stolen with a lot of corrupt government. And as you know, Cummings has been in charge. Now, I will say this. I think that Representative Cummings should take his oversight committee and start doing oversight on Baltimore. He'd find out some real things.
So, of course, the Democrats and a lot of others didn't take this lightly. This was seen as a bit of either a racist pandering or a bit of a ploy to try to undermine the work being done to improve conditions in cities like that. Big Banks, what do you make of this? What do you make of his bash of Elijah Cummings, who's been a congressman in that area now for more than 30 years? What say you? Well,
I mean, you know, if you ever had a chance to go to Baltimore, you will see how bad it is. You go to the Inner Harbor and 3 blocks up, it just turns to straight shit. It's unfortunate that a lot of people have to live in this type of situation. Cummings has been a congressman for that area almost about 30 years. Now, granted, they redrew the lines, so therefore he has Columbia, Maryland, gerrymandering. So it makes it kind of look good. But when you look at the real city of Baltimore, it's very depressing.
You're talking about the area west of the Inner Harbor. You're talking about those West Baltimore areas that are crime-ridden. The schools are utter garbage, and you just have a lot of people who are rightfully sick and tired and fed up. And do you believe that there is purpose in Trump's comments? Do you believe he's actually trying to uplift, or do you think he needs to put his money where his mouth is a little more and try to kind of do a little more to act like he's not going to be a savior, but at least going to turn a page on the city?
I understand where Trump was coming from. I mean, you know, you're ripping on his DHS person about the border situation, but you know, fair game is fair game, because if you're going to say we have depressing situations at the border, then you need to look at your own district. Even you ran a marathon through Baltimore.
Some rough patches, some rough areas for sure.
I guess the funny part is that you
didn't take a bullet.
Yeah, I guess the funny part, you have a marathon is in itself through Baltimore. You know, and I think when you look at the city of Baltimore, it just has went downhill over 40 years, over 40 plus years of Democratic rule. Somewhat socialist policies, ran all the businesses out of Baltimore, lost jobs, lost opportunities. And then when you talk about the school system itself, there's a couple schools that nobody, when I say nobody, no kids are reading on grade level or doing math on grade level.
The literacy rates, the completion rates, the people who are actually workforce or college ready leaving Baltimore public, Baltimore city schools, It's been time and time again. We've heard about the horrendous situations in Baltimore. You do have the gentrified, kind of whitewashed areas that kind of maybe give Baltimore a good look for people who come and travel there for business or whatever. But yeah, your Fells Points of the world, your convention center. But a lot of Baltimore is still ugly, is still hideous. Do you think that the president needs to probably clamp down or tamper down on his language about using words like infestation? Do you think that's a little too harsh? Do you think he fairly uses words like that, or do you think he might be need to be a little more clever with his language?
If it's in the dictionary, it's fair game. If you want to use a word that's out of the dictionary, use it. Now, it's up to you how you interpret the word and how you think the context of this phrase or the saying may be, but to the most part, it's the truth. If you don't have to go too far. Just go to the internet and just look at pictures of Baltimore.
He's an equal opportunity offender, that's for sure. This whole idea that he saves or only utilizes the worst of his words and the worst of his kind of for minority areas or black areas or certain countries, that's a little ridiculous. He has offended. He has insulted. He's not holding back. He's delivering that same kind of language and those same insults across the board. So I don't really believe it's fair to say he only is saving that card and only using that card for minority black areas. That's a little disingenuous and that's a little ridiculous. Is it presidential? Probably not. Is it helpful?
Say this right here.
Maybe in certain areas it could be.
Only thing in presidential is what the Constitution has to subscribe. You got to be 35 or older to run for president, and you have to be born in the United States. There's no litmus test of what presidential must be.
Presidential, exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
You go
George Washington established the current presidency, saying it was not going to be a military presidency. It was going to be subservient to, well, not subservient, an equal branch to Congress. That developed over time. That developed over the first 100 years of the country's founding. But you're right. There's no standard. There's no template for president. His predecessors have all adhered to a certain set of norms, but he's not a carbon copy. He's not a cookie cutter president by any stretch of the imagination. I think that's the understatement of the year. But nevertheless, we'll see about that. To follow up, folks, September 15th, that is a Sunday, 2 p.m., Blexit, Baltimore. The kind of the walk-away type program, Candace Owens, Terrence Williams, Brandon Tatum, the others, checking that out. We will be there on September 15th. So thank you all very much, and we will catch you next time. Peace.
Peace.